up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today doing the what's next on Tszyu, the undefeated number one ranked challenger in the WBO at 154 pounds, super welterweight. Tszyu returned to action and actually stayed busy and risked his mandatory number one shot when he took on former world title challenger Tszyu in the main event of a Showtime card on March 26th. Now, Tszyu surprised the hell out of everybody. He really did. He came out firing on all cylinders, and not right away, though. He got knocked down in the first round, but he weathered that storm, fought through it, and, was able to just put the pressure on Gausha and really outwork him and outclass him in this one and walk away with a clean, unanimous decision win, as he stays undefeated and now is pushing forward. So the big question now is what's next for Tszyu, and that looks to be pretty simple. Tszyu is the WBO's number one ranked challenger, and he's basically in line to fight either the winner of Charlo and Castaño, or if the belt goes vacant because the winner of that fight does not want to fight Tszyu, then he's in line to fight Magomed Kurbanov, who's an undefeated guy on the rise too. So what's next for Tszyu is a world title shot. There is no doubt there. It's going to be a world title shot. He's either going to fight the winner of Charlo and Castaño, or he's going to fight Magomed Kurbanov, is what I see. Now, I can run through the top 10 real quick and just see what could possibly be other options for after that, but I really, really wholeheartely believe it's going to be those. So, Jermell Charlo sitting at the top. If he beats Brian Castaño in their rematch and becomes the undisputed champion, and he decides to stay at 154, I think there's a solid chance Charlo fights Tszyu, because Tszyu looks a little bit more beatable than the prospect of facing the winner of Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin. Those two guys are fighting for the interim title this weekend coming up on April 9th. But he's already beaten Lubin. If Lubin were to beat Fundora, and Fundora is just stylistically a terrible matchup for Charlo, in my opinion. And I think Charlo would probably prefer, if he stays at 154, to fight the undefeated Tszyu as opposed to facing Sebastian Fundora or Erickson Lubin. So if that's the case, then if Charlo moves up in weight, then that also leaves the prospect of him fighting for the vacant title. So, but I think Charlo is a definite possibility for Tszyu next. Now, number two, Brian Castaño. He's another guy that, if he stays at 154, I think stylistically Tszyu's a better matchup and probably a more fun fight for Castaño than facing the winner of Erickson Lubin or Sebastian Fundora. So if I'm Castaño and Castaño beats Charlo in their rematch, I think Castaño and Tszyu has a very good chance of fighting each other for the unified title, because they're probably gonna have to give up one or two belts. But I think there's a very good chance Castaño fights Tszyu as well. Now, Erickson Lubin's going to be fighting for he's going to be the WBC champion. Him and Tszyu is not possible next. Sebastian Fundora, if he beats Erickson Lubin, he's the interim WBC champion. I don't think it's possible that he fights Tszyu next at all. And then Sergio Garcia's fighting to move up the rankings, but he's not going to get a shot at Tszyu next. Again, Magomed Kurbanov, very good chance if the winner of Charlo Castaño decides to give up the WBO belt and not fight Tszyu. Very good chance that Tszyu and Kurbanov are fighting for the vacant title. Number 9, Liam Smith. Not seeing this one next for Tszyu. And then number 10 coming into the year was Patrick Teixeira. And another guy, I don't see this one happening this year. Now, who do I think he's going to end up fighting overall? And to be honest, I really think it makes more sense for Tszyu to fight the winner of Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo. It makes more sense for the whoever comes out of that, and if they don't move up to middleweight, because I still think there's a chance that whoever wins that fight between Charlo and Castano moves up to middleweight. If Charlo wins, I think he's only going to move up to middleweight if his brother moves on to super middleweight. But if Castano wins the fight, I think there's a chance Castano, for a bigger payday and a bigger fight, moves up to 160 to fight Jermall Charlo. You know, after beating Jermell, he'd want to take a crack and fight Jermall maybe. That would make a lot of money right there. So I think there's a prospect of that. But if the winner of that fight, Charlo and Castano too, if the winner stays at 154, and I think it's more likely with two mandatories due, it's either going to be the winner of Erickson Lubin, Sebastian Fundora, or it's going to be Tim Tszyu. I really think they're going to go after Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu is hittable. He's not as big as those guys are. And especially for Castano, that's a fan-friendly fight right there. I think a lot of people would love to see Castano and Tim Tszyu lock it up. So, yeah, I really think, in my opinion, that the winner of that fight is likely to fight Tim Tszyu. But if they don't, and the WBO belt goes vacant because they don't, then I think Tim Tszyu is going to fight Magomed Kurbanov for the vacant WBO championship next. So that's what I got. That's the what's next on Tim Tszyu. If you guys enjoyed it, excuse me, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. I appreciate any support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.